What's up guys, we're going to be starting a new build soon. I recently purchased a 135 and it's a roller. A guy bought it in Toronto and he bought the car off of an auction. The car turned out to not be what he thought it was going to be. So he thought he bought a 135 that was just hit in the front, needed a few things replaced like the lights and rad support and whatnot. Turns out the company that actually put the car up on the auction took the engine, transmission, all that out of the car. So he ended up with a roller. Like he ended up with the shell, and it had an E46 engine and transmission, some like really junk engine that he didn't want. It was gonna be a lot bigger of a project for him, and he's like, I just want to get rid of the car. So I purchased the car from him after he removed that engine and transmission from it. So basically I just got a roller 135. And then I wanted to make a 1M out of it. So like we all kind of debated what to do, whether just to replace all the panels, make it a 1M, leave the N54 in, or make it kind of the real 1M that BMW should have made, where it has the S65 motor, so the 4-liter V8. And I guess we all kind of decided if we're going to do it, we might as well do it to the best of our ability. We decided to go with the S65. What makes this car really special, this 135 roller, is that it has no sunroof, so it's a slick top. And from what I like kind of researched, it's apparently really hard to find a slick top. I think there were no 135 M Sport slick tops ever made for the United States, so I think Canada kind of got lucky and we got a few slick top M Sport 135s, which is like the perfect base to start with to build the 1M. Fast forward a couple of weeks later and I found a crashed E92 M3 in Montreal. So I went and looked at that. The guy there had purchased a car off of Copart and he was going to actually swap the engine, transmission, all that stuff into an E30. So he had a cool project in mind, but he was way too busy with life and this and that, so he kind of scrapped the idea. We came to a deal where I purchased the whole car off of him, but I wanted the car dismantled because I didn't want to bring like the whole chassis that was completely destroyed. I just wanted the electronics, the motor, the transmission, that kind of stuff. But then again, fast forward a couple weeks later, we went back to Montreal with the truck to pick the parts up, went to the dismantlers, had no idea if the engine was even good or if any of the stuff was good. The engine never really started because the car was so badly hit on the side that the fuel rail was destroyed, and these guys had like a garden hose attaching the fuel rail and it wouldn't hold the pressure, so fuel was just leaking out everywhere. But when he hit the start button, the engine would rotate, so I knew that at least the rod bearings or main bearings weren't seized and the crank would spin well. So that was my only the only thing I could go off of. And I said, screw it, it's a good deal, I'll buy the whole car, see what happens. If other parts need to be replaced, we'll replace them. And so fast forward a couple of weeks later, we went to Montreal with a truck, went to dismantlers, they took it all apart. I took all the parts I wanted, put them in the truck, and then we brought it back here. And then a couple of days later, the car showed up as well here, and I guess that's where the project begins. So now, ideally what we're trying to get at is E92 M3 everything in an E82 chassis. So it's going to be engine, transmission, wiring harness, ECU, fuel pump, all the suspension front and rear, subframes, all that's off the M3. Bolt all that into the 1 Series chassis, and then once everything runs, hopefully, do all the bodywork. So get all the 1M panels from BMW, so quarter panels, fenders, front and rear bumpers, side skirts, trunk, hood, all that stuff will get replaced as well. So I don't think it's ever been done before, at least not in the color, at least not in the slick top. Like I've seen a couple of people do it online where they've done it with the sunroof, or some people have bought one with a sunroof, then taken the whole roof off and put a carbon roof on. But the 1M came just as a regular slick top. So I hope that this is like as close to 1M as possible and a real 1M that BMW should have made.